So, our theme for today, we're reflecting on the autumn equinox. And at this time of balance, where the light and the dark sit in equal position, as we're just turning the corner into the darker half of the year. It's a moment to reflect on all that that brings up. So there's looking backwards at the light and the warmth, and looking forwards to the peace and the dark and the nestling in by the fire. And there's a sense of what we're harvesting right now. So that's where we'll be going today. So let's take a moment to settle, to allow the activity of beforehand to fall away, and just to settle into our bodies, feeling our connection with the earth, feeling how she supports us from underneath, feeling all the parts of our body that connect with the earth, and feeling the earth showing up in our bodies, feeling our strong skeletons and bones holding us up, deeply supported from underneath. That feeling of understanding from what stands under us. So let's re-familiarize ourselves with our bodies. Maybe it's just me that needs to do that from time to time. Oh look, hello elbows. Haven't thought about you for a while. Shoulders, oh, you've been carrying a lot. Oh, let me help you put that load down for a minute. Belly, oh, you're holding on in there. Maybe you can just let go a little bit. And the breath. How is the breath right now? Is it deep or shallow? Is it fast or slow? Is it rough or smooth? How does it connect with the heartbeat? Heart beating, breath coming in. Heart beating, breath going out. And every time we breathe in, more life, more vitality, more energy coming into our bodies, more awakeness, more aliveness. And every time we breathe out, more letting go, more releasing, more allowing, softening our bodies with that relaxing out breath, so that we're ready to receive more on the in-breath. And then beginning with our breath, not only to deepen our connection with ourselves, so that in-breath taking us into our interior world, but also to deepen our connection with each other, the out-breath taking us out. Our breath mingling with each other's breath. All of those in-breaths, all of those out-breaths, coming into a breath towards the one, breathing towards the one. Breathing in towards the one, breathing out, united with all. Towards the one, the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the message, the mystery, the miracle, the Mother, the Spirit of guidance. So let's also have the invocation in Hawaiian.
I ke akua ka mea pono loa o ke aloha lo kahi ame kanani. O ke kanaka vale no, hui pu me na uhane o la a pau loa. Ke ia ano I ka ho'o lala o ka haku, ka uhane o ke alakai.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We begin in the name of the only being who is all mercy, all compassion, all love. So thank you, and let's begin. Let's begin with gratitude. It's always a good place to go to. So beginning with gratitude for the harvest that we are beginning to be aware of as the year turns at this autumn equinox.
I think you can. I'm feeling a bit.
Oh, poor Salique's feeling a bit rough.
I've got a bit of a cold. My head's a bit cotton woolly, so I think July better lead.
Okay. Can you still play for me?
Yes.
Okay.
I've never sneezed during the invocation before.
I thought it was a bit like the miracle, that's... which tradition is it where that's... it's a real blessing when somebody sneezes. Anyway, there's a story around that, but I can't remember it right now. It's not going well for Salique. You just put the chair on your foot and then sat on it. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. So, yes, so our theme of this, looking at the harvest at this time of year, and let's begin with words in Arabic. Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah.
Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah.
So gratitude, and the remembrance of unity. And then we have the three wazifas that go with this, the three wedding gifts. Subhanallah.
Subhanallah.
God is pure. God is undiluted. It's another way of saying there's only God. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
All praise, all gratitude returns to the only being. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
And God is great. No matter what we experience, God is always greater. So, Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah. Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah. Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah. Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah. Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Is everyone okay with those words? So let's stand up and move. So we're stepping forward and bringing the hands to the heart on the shakurs. So it looks like this. Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah. So for me this is a bit like, here we are noticing our gratitude for everything that we've received during this last time. This time when we've been able to be together in some ways with some people, we've been able to go out and enjoy the warmth of the sun, all of the fruits of the garden and the fields, and these beautiful sharing times that we've had on the screen as well. So it feels to me as we're stepping back, it's like spreading this table of great riches for us to honour and celebrate and give gratitude for. Let's try that. Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah. Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah. Now we've got this movement of the full moon, this full circle, this full sphere of purity and gratitude and fullness, all of that fullness that we're grateful for. Subhanallah. And then the hands come from the heart. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. So a possibility for aliveness and celebration and gratitude for our physical bodies, that we can move as much as we're able to, and just really opening with all of our being to this gratitude for all that we've received. Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah. Ya Shakur, La ilaha illallah. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah. Breathing in gratitude and breathing out gratitude. Allowing us to fully experience and feel how grateful we are for all of the gifts that we have received, the gifts of friendship, the gifts of having a safe place to live, the gifts of physical health, if that's the case, the gifts, well, whatever those gifts might be, you know what your gifts are that you're feeling grateful for. Ya Shakur.
Ya Shakur.
So, I've started the recording again. As I look around in the world at the moment, there's a sense of us reaping what we have sown. And we were watching a very beautiful film called Living in the Time of Dying. If you haven't seen it, I really recommend it. There's an amazing Native American elder called Stan Rushworth in there who says that the native peoples have always known that this would be the result of the way we were treating the earth. And so there's this sense that we are reaping what we have sown, and that, he says that actually it's a good sign if we feel some guilt about that, because that's the first step on the journey to us feeling our collective responsibility. That means feeling ourselves as being part of a community, belonging to each other. So although it may not be our individual actions that have done things, our sense of collective guilt as part of the human race is actually a movement of power towards us feeling that communal responsibility, and that may be the way forward for us as a human race. And of course, when we talk about guilt, it's not the same as shame. So, those feelings of shame that are so destructive that many of us did grow up with and deeply internalize, that's not really what we're talking about. But it did feel to me that there was a place here for doing some work with forgiveness, asking the earth to forgive us, asking the species of animals and birds and insects and plants for forgiveness, and forgiving ourselves for the human race's part in this, for our collective responsibility. So as it happens, the next wazifa on our journey through the 99 names is Ya Ghafoor. So I'll just read a little tiny bit about that, and we will do some practice with that. Al-Ghafoor is the essence of forgiveness because it reveals the depth of the divine heart. Al-Ghafoor means to forgive all the way into the deepest possible place, all the way to the ground floor. It is the divine forgiveness that penetrates into the most repressed secrets in our hearts. Its presence allows us to accept that there is forgiveness, even for the worst crime we've ever committed in our life, or the worst crime ever done to us. Al-Ghafoor is a healing salve for human beings' deep sense of being wounded that is due to self-identifying with shame and unworthiness. A physical plane meaning from the same root tells us it is like the substance bees make to repair their hives, which then is rubbed into the dried out and cracked leather water skin so that it no longer leaks. I love that image. As many of you have heard me describe it before. I've seen those leather water skins in Morocco, all dark with age and cracked and split and dried out, no use for carrying water. And this sense that this is the state, the condition that our hearts have been in, and that by rubbing in this healing salve, we soften the leather of our hearts, we plump it up again, we make it flexible and able to move and able to contain, like the water skin, able to contain water without leaking. That makes our hearts able to contain love and joy and gratitude again. So, there was another little part, but I don't think I'm going to read that now. I think we'll just do some work with Ya Ghafoor, this sound of it penetrating to the very deepest places. And as the book mentioned, this place that we believe to be unforgivable, the crime that we believe to be unforgivable, and how could that apply to what we see in the world around us at the moment? Is there a part of our being that believes that we, as the human race, are unforgivable? There's another place in the film that Robert's put in the chat, this living in the time of dying, where this Native American elder says, the difference between his people and our people is that his people know they were born into the garden. They were born into heaven. And we, the white people, believe that we were kicked out of the garden, that we broke the rules, and we don't even really know what those rules were. We weren't really taught how to obey them. We just got it wrong and were kicked out. So how about if we could, through asking for forgiveness, for taking that forgiveness deep into our souls, deep into our hearts, we could find again that this is heaven, where we are right now. So I invite you to engage with the practice with as many levels of your being as you can. So feel how the sounds work in your mouth. Feel how your body takes the sounds in. Feel how they resonate through your physical form. And allow your body to move in a way that reflects your experience of those sounds. Ya Gafur, 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 Ya Gafur. Let's breathe Gafur. Take it on the breath in ever more refined quality of forgiveness, penetrating ever deeper into our physical body, into our emotional body, purifying and forgiving in our thoughts, in our mind, in our hearts, in our feelings, in our very physical body, softening, healing. Making our hearts more flexible, better able to open and close, to give and receive, to feel love and gratitude and joy. And let's let the words go and just breathe with this healing balm of forgiveness. Noticing any places that block our ability to receive this forgiveness and forgiving those places too. Amen.
Amen.
So the phrase that I often link with this practice of forgiveness is from the Christian tradition, Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison. Lord have mercy, Christ have mercy. So I think it's C major, isn't it? Yeah. So just echo those words for me.
Kyrie eleison.
So, Kyrie eleison.
Kyrie eleison.
Christe eleison.
Christe eleison.
Kyrie eleison eleison.
Kyrie eleison eleison.
So if you could give me the chord, please. Kyrie eleison. Christe eleison. Kyrie eleison, eleison. Kyrie eleison. Christe eleison. Kyrie eleison, eleison. Kyrie eleison. Christe eleison. Kyrie eleison, eleison. So we'll continue singing it in a while, but I'll just show you some movements if you want to join with those. So the last part of this is, can I show you as if we were able to dance with partners, because there's this wonderful hug, which goes Kyrie eleison, eleison. Then we come out of it and it's as if our arms are lighter because we've been forgiven, we've received this grace, this mercy, this compassion. So we're floating and turning as we float. Kyrie eleison. And then the arms come down in blessing. Christe eleison. All the way to the earth. And then digging deep into the earth for this nourishment to continue to go forwards, the strength, bringing it up through our bodies and offering it to the people on the screen or offering it to somebody that we know really needs needs it right now, or offering it back to the earth. Here I am, use me. Kyrie eleison, eleison. So we can give ourselves a hug, unless we're lucky enough to be in the room with somebody else who we can hug. So let's come out of that hug with the music this time. Or I'll give you a hug anyway. Coming out of that hug. So I invite you to keep holding yourself, to keep this feeling of being held, letting in this mercy, this forgiveness, this compassion, this release from our suffering. That's right. Yeah, we can keep polishing our hearts, keep massaging in the propolis, the healing balm. So, not quite yet, not quite yet. Next. So where do we go from here? How do we sow? How do we sow a better future? How do we sow so that we can reap what is truly beneficial and healing for all beings? And there's another lovely part in the film I mentioned, Living in the Time of Dying, an interview with Dar Jamail, who wrote a book called The End of Ice. And he describes how he goes to the mountains or to the woods and listens, just listens. And in that listening, opening the door to hear, what is mine to do? Where do I go from here? And sometimes the messages that come are really surprising. Sometimes they're really powerful and strong. Sometimes they're like little whispers. They're hard to hear at first. It's a muscle, this listening for guidance, and the more we use it, the stronger it becomes. You were inspired, weren't you, Robert Salik, after watching the film last week?
Yes.
Do you want to say anything about it? No.
I was feeling a bit hesitant about it.
Oh,
I was definitely inspired. I lay awake in bed for hours with my head really busy because I was listening to lots of messages I'd been receiving, had been kind of pushing away, and I started thinking, well, what would it be like if I actually listened to all those little messages I'd been getting, and all these thoughts started flooding in about all the things that I could do. So that was quite exciting.
So that's an invitation to go from here, listening, allowing space for that guidance to arise. So let's sing about that, and I think maybe after that we'll also make space in case anybody wants to share something that they might have heard, and you might not want to. That's okay. So could you pick up the guitar again, and we'll sing these words in English. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart.
Listen to your heart.
Let love guide you.
Let love guide you.
Let love guide you.
Let love guide you.
Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Let love guide Let love guide you. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Let love guide you. Let love guide you. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Let love guide you. Let love guide you. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Let love guide you. Let love guide you. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Let love guide you. Let love guide you. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Let love guide you. Let love guide you. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Let love guide you. Let love guide you. Listen to your heart. 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 So let's go into the silence and just take a few moments just listening. What does my heart want to tell me? What does love want to tell me? maybe if the voice of love or the voice of your heart did speak to you, you might like to make a couple of notes, write things down to remember them. Meanwhile, Salik's going to share a little quote.
Our personal attempts to live humanely in this world are never wasted. Choosing to cultivate love rather than anger just might be what it takes to save the planet from extinction.
Just read that again.
Our personal attempts to live humanely in this world are never wasted. Choosing to cultivate love rather than anger just might be what it takes to save the planet from extinction.
I think that's from Pema Chodron.
Pema Chodron.
Thank you, Salik. There you go.
Well, when I was reading that first sentence about our personal attempts to live humanely in the world are never wasted, I thought of something written by Hazrat Nat Khan, which popped into my email box today when he's talking about generosity. And it really touches that. Just simple acts of humanity that we can share in everyday life. He says, generosity. It is not necessary that the spirit of generosity be shown always by the spending of money. In every little thing one can show it. Generosity is an attitude a person shows in every action that she does for people that she comes in contact with in her everyday life. One can show generosity by a smile, by a kind glance, by a warm handshake, by patting the younger soul on the shoulder as a mark of encouragement, of showing appreciation, of expressing affection. So I really like that, and I know that he was very good at doing that, because I was told a story of him just showing kindness and generosity to a man who was working in the street in Paris once, and this man remembered this years later and ran up and stopped his son in the street and told him about it many years later. Just one interaction he'd had with a stranger. They don't feel like much at the time, but I think they can make a huge difference.
Knowing that we're stepping into the darker time of the year, it could be really helpful and beneficial to think about what those seeds might be, how we might plant peace, and what we might reap if we sow those kinds of gestures in the world. So maybe that's an indication to move to our closing dance. We're going to do the Beatitude, which reminds us to plant peace in every season, with every step, knowing that peace is not something that's planted once and then left alone. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep working at it. Little steps, little gestures, again and again, nurturing that garden of peace with every step, with every action, with every heartbeat. Tubve hun labdai shlama.
Tuble hun labdai shlama.
Dachnawi da Allaha nit karun.
Dachnawi da Allaha nit karun.
So blessed are those who plant peace with every footstep in every season. They shall be hollowed out like the irrigation channels which are needed to water these gardens of peace. And they shall be channels, fountains of unity, spreading that peace and unity with every breath, with every step. Tubve hun.
Tubve hun.
Lavdai.
Lavdai.
Shlama.
Shlama.
Dachnawi.
Dachnawi.
Da Allaha.
Da Allaha.
Nit karun.
Nit karun.
So Shlama is the word for peace, and Allaha, this word for unity, the word that Jesus uses for God. Blessed are the peacemakers, they shall be called the children of God. Tubve hun labdai shlama.
Tubve hun labdai shlama.
Dachnawi da Allaha nit karun.
Dachnawi da Allaha nit karun.
Tubve hun labdai shlama. Dachnawi da Allaha nit karun. Tubve hun labdai shlama. Dachnawi da Allaha nit I just want to say, seeing your face there, Hadi, that I always think of you when I lead this dance because you were leading it the first time I danced it. So, blessings of peace. So we're going to do this planting step. These steps are derived from a traditional planting step. You imagine that with every step we're planting peace. With every footstep, I like to imagine it coming from the soles of my feet into this fertile earth. So we're going to step forward with the right foot, and the left foot comes to join it. And then the left foot goes behind, and the right foot joins. The left in front, crossing, and the right foot joins, and then straight back with the left, then joining. So we're making this kind of upside down W, and the idea would be to plant your seeds in the different places like this. So I'll just talk you through that one more time in case you're joining me standing up. Stepping in on the right, the left joins. Crossing behind with the left, crossing in front with the left, straight back with the left. There we go. Let's see how that fits with the music. And as we do this, I really invite you to feel connected with the others in this virtual circle, to reach out with your hands and your heart, to move together as we plant peace, because this is not something that we do on our own, we do it together. So bringing in also the people in your communities who aren't here on the screen, and connecting with peacemakers everywhere. Stepping in. blessings of peace. May we all go forward from here, planting peace with each footstep, planting peace in each season. It's the time for autumn planting. It's not always the time we think of for planting seeds, but there are many seeds that go into the garden at this time of year, and it's always the right season to plant the seeds of peace. Well, friends, let's close by saying the prayer Khartoum together. So, O thou, who art the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, Lord of heaven and earth, open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Disclose to us thy divine light, which is hidden in our souls, that we may know and understand life better. Most merciful and compassionate God, give us thy great goodness, teach us thy loving forgiveness, raise us above the distinctions and differences which divide, send us the peace of thy divine Spirit, and unite us all in thy perfect being. Amen.
Amen.
So, as we go forward from here and plant our seeds of peace, may that be for the benefit of all beings. Let's sing together. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. Peace, peace, peace. Amen. Svaha. Blessed be. Peace be with us all.